Meditation practice is the heart of contemplative psychology. It is what makes contemplative psychology contemplative, meaning that contemplative is usually a word that is used in a Christian context for prayer or a life of prayer. But contemplative also has this other root to it, which is contemporary or up to date in the present moment. So meditation is our method for living in that hotspot of the present moment. And meditation, as we know, is pretty in vogue today. And the practice can take all kinds of approaches to how to train the mind. Some people practice meditation to calm their minds and their nervous system, and they use it as medicine in closed eye meditation. Others use movement and breath work to become more embodied and aware of their physical being. In Karuna, we practice mindfulness awareness with eyes open to become more aware of what's happening in the present moment, both inside ourselves and in the world at large. So this practice traditionally is called shamatha vipassana, and shamatha means peace and vipassana means awareness or more global awareness. So this approach to working with ourselves is at the heart of our method in Karuna Training. What we practice in meditation is strengthening that muscle that brings us back home to the present moment over and over. That's what we're practicing. It's literally strengthening the moment of coming back. The mind will wander. That's its nature. So we don't have to reprimand ourselves when we're outside the present moment. Most of the time we are. Most of the time we live unsynchronized. What we're practicing is synchronizing our body, our breath, and our mind into the current moment now. So usually we're very divided, right? Our minds are chewing on what we have to do today, and our bodies might be doing something else like driving or cooking or moving through space in some way. And emotionally, we're tied up because of what's going on in our life. So we're occupied often emotionally. And all that is quite normal, and many people live their lives quite okay, even being unsynchronized. But the potency happens when we begin to synchronize our body, breath, and mind in the present moment. And this is what allows us to begin to feel and experience our intrinsic health. Our intrinsic health is available to us when we're synchronized with our world. We kind of know this naturally if we take a walk in the woods and suddenly a bird lands in front of us or a butterfly lands on our nose and it brings us present fully and completely. We feel the wonder of our experience. That's being synchronized with your world. So that's what we're practicing. And so I'd like to offer you our method for synchronizing. And I will guide this now for us. So what's important is it doesn't matter if you're sitting in a chair or on a cushion. You mainly need to have the feeling of having an open space in your heart and a strong back. Your feet can be on the floor if you're sitting in a chair, or maybe you have a cushion. And in our tradition, we let our arms hang to the side and we just place our hands gently on our thighs. We're not doing any special hand gestures. It's very ordinary. And we have to take a few minutes to get embodied. I often tell people to actually look around the room and notice where you are and notice that you feel contained or not. Maybe there's a cat trying to get in, or who knows. So we're mostly just finding ourselves in our body and allowing the weight of our body to settle us. Feel your weight on the cushion or your chair. Really take a moment to feel your feet and up through your legs. If your arms are resting on if your hands are resting on your thighs, let your arms feel heavy and your shoulders heavy. Feel your head is upright but not rigid. So don't be afraid to move around a little bit. This is not about doing it right. It's about, we're not trying to fit ourselves into a mold. We're feeling into being present. In this practice, we keep our eyes open and focused, kind of looking down. But you have a peripheral vision. You allow the circumference of the room in. This can be very alarming for people who have learned to meditate with their eyes closed. It's much harder to meditate with your eyes open. So if you're someone who's conditioned to meditate with your eyes closed, just go back and forth and see the difference of what happens. Allow your mind to choose what's needed. Your jaw's relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, and most importantly, your tummy is relaxed. Allow yourself to breathe into your tummy. And nobody's looking, you can just let your belly go. So this is the body of the practice. So as we begin to settle in the body, we can take a moment to find our breathing. Just the normal in and out breath, but just by bringing awareness to our breath, it often changes it. Allow yourself to be conscious and feeling your breath go out and in. And as you find the rhythm with the breath, pay special attention to the out breath. And the space you discover at the end of the breath. The in-breath will happen, and we ride the breath out into the present moment and touch the space at the end of the breath. So as we do this, you might notice that the mind is wandering. You might even be lost in thought or thinking about other things. Totally natural. But in meditation, we can learn to regard our mind as like children playing in the attic. We don't have to care for everything that we think. It can just be background noise. But when we notice that we're lost in our mind, completely gone, we're already back. And we simply just exercise the muscle of bringing our awareness to the out breath and the space at the end of the breath. Synchronizing our body, breath, and mind over and over in the space of the present moment. Thank you. If you're interested in a little bit more about contemplative psychology, in the next video, I talk about body, speech, and mind, the sacred trilogy of contemplative psychology. Meditation is about making friends with ourselves. It's not about doing it right or achieving something. It's about coming close to ourselves and making friends with ourselves. And part of the path of meditation, when we resist going to the meditation hall or we resist sitting down on a cushion, even though we know it's good for us or whatever we have in our mind, the thing is that when we don't go, that's part of the practice. It's information. And we have to befriend that too, because it's part of ourselves, being resistant. And so the path of meditation isn't just about sitting on the cushion and learning how to relax. That's the fruit of meditation. But the path itself of learning how to practice is this stopping and starting and the way in which we become friendly towards ourselves.